Happy Thursday, second grade. We are just about to finish up our first 26 phonograms. Let's go over the kind of strokes that we've used to write our phonograms so far. What is this? Oops, sorry. What's this one? Good, that's a clock stroke. And where do we start that? Good, over a space just below the dotted line, touch 2 on the clock. And what is this? Good, that's a short line stroke. Where do we start that? Excellent, we start that at the dotted line. All right, now this is a dash stroke. Our dash stroke letters don't all start in the same spot, so we have to also know our starting spot for our dash stroke letters. And what kind of stroke is this? Excellent, this is a tall line stroke. And where does that start? Good, it starts at the top baseline. So we're going to learn our last kind of stroke that we use to write our letters today. All right, and that is called a slant stroke, right? If something is not straight, we can say that it has a slant to it. All right, so our slant strokes, we always start at the dotted line. And we pull our line forward and down to the baseline. All right, so our slant stroke starts at the dotted line, and we pull our slant stroke forward and down to the baseline. So all of the letters that we're going to learn today use our slant stroke. All right, our first, oh my goodness, I'll have to pause this. I forgot to write up our line. All right, now that we have our line to write on, we can learn our first slant stroke letter, which is this. This one says V. Class, say that with me. V. Good. Now by yourself. Good. V. This is a slant stroke letter, so we know we're going to start at the dotted line, and we're going to be close to our margin or to the last letter that we wrote. All right, so I'm going to start at my dotted line, pull a slant stroke forward and down to the baseline, and then I'm going to push a slant stroke up to the dotted line and lift my pencil. All right, watch one more time since we haven't done slant strokes yet this year. So I'll start close to my last letter at the dotted line, pull a slant stroke down into the baseline, and push a slant stroke up and to the dotted line. All right, this is my V. I have 2 of them there. All right, so get ready to write. To write your first V, start close to your last letter, and at the dotted line, pull a slant stroke down to the baseline, and push a slant stroke up to the dotted line. Good. Now I want you to write one more V. Say it while you write it. All right, good. And one more, say it while you write it. Excellent. All right, our next slant stroke letter is this one. This says W. Say that with me, W. All right, now by yourself. Good, W. All right, so we know it's a slant stroke letter, so it's going to start where? Good, at the dotted line. And close to my last letter, so I'm gonna push, let's see, what is it? Pull a slant stroke down to the baseline, push a slant stroke up to the dotted line, but I'm not finished yet. I'm gonna pull another slant stroke down to the baseline and push another slant stroke up to the dotted line. This is my W. All right, I want you to watch one more time. So close to the last letter and at the dotted line, pull a slant stroke down to the baseline, push a slant stroke up to the dotted line, pull another slant stroke down to the baseline, and push another slant stroke up to the dotted line. W. All right, now it's your turn. Get ready to write. Nice and straight, find your writing spot, holding your pencil correctly. All right, start close to your last letter. At the dotted line, pull a slant stroke down to the baseline, push a slant stroke up to the dotted line, pull a slant stroke down to the baseline, and push a slant stroke up to the dotted line and lift your pencil. All right, great. I want you to write another W, saying the sound while you write it. All right, good. And one more time, write it one more time. Say it while you write it. All right, nice job. Now you might have noticed that our slant strokes, some are a little bit more slanted than others. For example, when I write my V, it's a little bit more slanted than my W. See, these strokes are a little bit closer to being up and down. That's okay. It might take us a while. You might need to practice a little while before you're really comfortable feeling like you have the right kind of slant. But just keep persevering and you'll do a great job. All right, our last slant stroke letter that we're going to learn is this one. This one says X. All right, class, say that with me. X. Good. Now by yourself. Excellent. X. All right. So this one is a slant stroke letter, so we know it's going to start at the dotted line and close to our last letter. So we're going to pull a slant stroke down to the baseline and lift. Now we're going to go above where we ended at the dotted line, and we're going to do an opposite slant stroke in the other direction and lift. This is our X. All right, watch one more time. Starting close to our last letter at the dotted line, we're going to pull a straight line down to the baseline and lift. Then we'll go right above where we ended. So this is about as big as a clock space. Right above where we ended on the dotted line and do an opposite clock stroke and lift it. X. All right, your turn, so get ready to write. Starting close to your last letter at the dotted line, pull a slant stroke down to the baseline about as big as a clock stroke and lift. And now go above where you ended and pull an opposite slant stroke down to the baseline. All right, nice job. Now I want you to write your X one more time, saying it while you write it. Excellent job. Write one more for me, saying X as you write your X. All right, nice job, boys and girls. Let's practice writing one nonsense word. We've learned 25 of our first 26 phonograms. All right, so let's practice using those to write a nonsense word. All right, the nonsense word I want you to write is het. What's the word? Good, het. What sounds do we hear in the word het? Good, it's h, t. All right, one more time, what are you going to write? Good, h, t. All right, write those sounds and say them while you write them. All right, as soon as you're finished, you can tell me what I need to write to spell het. First of all, I know I'm going to leave a clock space. Good, is my first sound, and where does that start? Good, at the top baseline. What's next? And where does my start? Good, halfway between the dotted line and the baseline. Good, is the next sound, and where does that start? Good, that one starts at the top baseline too. All right, make sure yours looks like mine. And now let's say our sounds and put them together. All right. Excellent job, boys and girls. We only have one more phonogram to learn.